Hello everybody, Patrick Glenn Nichols, Muscle Car Barn Finds, and today I was hired to come out here and authenticate and possibly endorse a 1970 Chevelle LS6. It's a really cool car out here in Arizona that I was hired to inspect. Really nice car. The car's been out in Arizona, out in the West, most of its life. It's virtually rust-free. I don't think the car has any rust in it, actually. It has had your normal facelift from about 25 years ago or so. The base coat, clear coat, it is not original paint, but the car is totally numbers matching, front to rear, engine, transmission, rear axle, build sheet, two build sheets, one on the gas tank, one in the interior, and the protecto plate all still reside with this car. So I'll go around it today and show you quite a bit of what's going on with this car. I like to create a permanent record with my authentication services. I'm not the biggest fan of writing up a report. Reports can get lost. People can try to alter those, but when you publish a video like what I do, that's permanent. That's a permanent record. It can't be altered. It's there. 30 years from now, 50 years from now, you'll always be able to see what the car looked like and what was going on with the car in June of 2022. So let's start out from the start. We'll go around and I'll point out some things that are incorrect and some things that are correct. That's what we do here. This is a Kansas City, Missouri built 1970 Chevelle, built the third week of March, which I'll show you later on the cow tag. The rear bumper, of course, was, I think this is a replacement GM unit with the original bumper pad was glued to this particular bumper. So this is not the original unit. It's got NOS tail lenses. And you can see the tall crown on the bumper bolt. That is incorrect. So that's always your first indication on a bumper, is if the bumper has been changed. A lot of times, a whole lot of the time, the bumper bolts will be wrong. And of course, normally when cars get the facelift and the paint in the body, they redo the vinyl top, and it has the normal spongy feel. Original will be really hard and not as much sponge as this one. And we have the seam is in the incorrect spot. It should be over here, fairly close to this molding joint. All of the glass in this car is original, dated March of 70. And it's also very cool. It's come with a gold cloth bench seat interior. Those of you who don't know, gold was not available in a bucket seat. So if you have gold interior, it must be a bench seat. One really cool trait of this car is the door panels in the interior was changed so long ago that this stuff is USA 1 interiors. A lot of guys probably are not familiar with this, but they made some very superior stuff before they went out of business. And I believe the word on the street is the PUI Gold Series comes from the USA 1. Really, really good stuff. It takes a pretty good eye to be able to tell a USA 1 door panel from an original GM. You can tell it, but it is very nice reproduction. The seats have been recovered. Most of the interior carpet has been changed as well. And if you'll notice, one of the ways you tell on a bench seat, the back area, area here would have the ribbed portion would be ribbed on a factory 70 Chevelle covering. You can see that's smooth vinyl at this point. So that, of course, tells you that it's been changed. The seat belts in this car dated the fourth week of 1970. This is an automatic on the column LS6 Turbo 400. As you can see, Gobi beige, code 50B with the black vinyl roof, which I'll show you in a little bit when I raise the car up. But all 5 of the wheels are dated December the 30th, 1969. Really nice car. So now let's lift the hood and address some things under the hood. Show you the front of the car. Still retains T3 headlights, which is really neat. The car did come with front bumper guards, and it still retains those as well. So in under the hood, you can see it's a later version hood. This would be the later version of the NOS hood. So that has been changed. This wouldn't be correct on a March car. Generally, it would be the early version hood. So I can tell you that that normally, more than likely, has been changed. And you can see on both sides, the fenders as well have been changed, because like we've been over before, you can see that the SS454 is too high. So that should be lower. So that's your indication there that the fenders have been changed. We've got an NOS hood, and we also have a radiator support for the big 4-row radiator when this car was equipped with a 331 axle. So now we have a top bar, which this is here. Well, that's incorrect. This has been changed. And we have the hood pin cable lanyards. They're in the wrong location as well. So that is the indication that shows you the front clip of this car when it got its facelift or the semi-restoration 25 years ago or so. Then that's when that stuff was changed. But we have a factory original BR coated radiator still in the car, as you can see right there, dated XP with the tanks, and is dated January of 70. 837 alternator still with the car. And one of the indications that I know shows that this car has lived a very good life. If you notice how nice the original valve covers are on this car, I mean, the flash chrome is pretty much flawless. Does have the factory numbers matching CRR with the correct Kansas, which I don't think I can focus on that. If you can see it through there, the Kansas, the correct font for the Kansas City, Missouri VIN sequence. The original carburetor is still here. You can see right here, we can focus on that. You can see the GR in the list, the 4492. I can get a better focus. And it is dated 9B2, which would be 1969, then AB, B would be December, second week of December, 1969. 6328 and the 4519 metering blocks are still in place. I did check for the distributor. The 437 distributor is not here. The smog is here, but the smog pump is incorrect. But we do have a correct radiator shroud, and a non-dated version, which we've been over before, of the 064 fan. And Kansas City, Missouri, which I have documented a few Kansas City, Missouri cars using the actual dated version, part numbered version, and this car being an example showing that they also use the other supplier as well. So both fans technically will be correct on a Kansas City, Missouri car. The BB master cylinder is still in place. Right there, you can see it. And the power brake booster, if I can focus, is dated the 40th day of 1970. It's still here. The 105DD power steering pulley is here. The 291AB and the 060 AP and the 458 DA. All of these pulleys, which I have looked at, I've authenticated all of them. They are all original GM, not reproduction. And you can look and see the accelerator bracket is an original Holley LS6 unit as well. Metal inner fenders on a Kansas City, Missouri car is correct. Some things have been rattle canned, as you know. The hood latch is not supposed to be black, neither are the hood hinges. We got a replacement radiator cap. But all in all, this is a really correct car. The original mirror on this side is dated October of '69. Let's do a little rundown of the cow tag, which I always do. You also see this has the later version of the smog. You know, the early version in the '69 come out further. This has the later version on a March of '70 built LS6. Okay, let's see. We got 13637 and 70 for 1970, the two-door hardtop. KAN for Kansas City, Missouri. Let's see if I can focus on this body numbers. Hard for me to read. I believe that's 602776. But the main important thing here is the 776 gold cloth interior and the 03A. Excuse me, this is 03A. I misspoke earlier. This is not the third week of March. This is the first week of March. And then you can see the 50 for Gobi beige, B for black vinyl top, and the L, which most believe signifies super sport equipment. Now again, I'll show you. You can see the S's are too high. They're almost as high as the top of the wheel well molding, and that is incorrect. That's about a ½ inch to an inch too high. If you also notice, one of them is upside down. You see the one on the left is much thicker than the one on the right. It's supposed to be thin at the top, so the one on the left is upside down. Open the driver's side and let you look in here this way. And there's the USA 1 door panel. And the reason I know this is in the documentation, in the folder of the documentation, it shows where this stuff was bought back in the late 90s or in the 90s, somewhere in there. And it shows USA 1 Interiors was purchased, the covers and all. Car shows about 90,000, I think, miles. On an odometer, I think that's 99. So it's real close to 100. Bench seat on the column shift, LS6, no gauges, idiot lights, but it does have Cal induction. 331 CRV, positraction rear end. You can see the door jamb, manufactured by GM door jamb, is missing. The car's been totally painted, top to bottom. So it's your typical, semi-restored LS6. And let's go up and look under the car. This may take a second, but I can show you a few things under the car, which is well worth it to do the car correctly. So I like to do a thorough video of this car as it sits today, because this will be published and stay with this car for the remainder of its life. Now you can get a really good shot of how that SS454 is too high. It's pretty much in line with the molding, dead on incorrect. Just another click and I'll bend down a little bit and just do it that way. Okay. Now, if you look, I wanted you to focus 1230 AO, and over here, if you look, M19, so that's for 1969. That's how you designate the year that goes along with this actual date here of December the 30th, AO. Again, there was no rhyme or reason when these wheels were picked up, but they were made in such large batches that, you know, when they grab 5 wheels, sometimes they grab 5 wheels all built the same day, and that's what happened with this car. 1230 AO M19. While we're at it, we'll just go all the way around and show you every one of them. 1230 AO. These wheels have been restored. They are not original paint. And 1230 AO. Really neat. Now, I'll show you the focus. If I can focus on the rear axle. CRV 0105 B1. That's on the Protecto plate, which I will show you now. And maybe I can get a good shot right in here of the, boom, right there. You can see the 10 for 0 for 1970, the K for Kansas City, Missouri, and then the last sequence of the VIN, and that is the correct VIN sequence, correct font for a Kansas City, Missouri car. Right there, 174463. So the engine, trans, and rear axle match. Now I'll do a quick little rundown of the build sheet. There we go, March the 3rd, the 50, the B, 50 for Gobi beige, B for black vinyl top, B for black stripes, 776 for gold cloth bench seat. See the 331 posi traction, the CY trans, RV 331 RR, LS6 M40 power steering, heavy duty battery, AM radio. Looks like somebody added a speaker in the back. It just had the right rear. Now it has 2. Front bumper guards still retained, or still on the car. And this one came out of the back seat. And another interesting point, which we've always heard in around the Chevelle circles, that Kansas City, Missouri cars built at the Kansas City, Missouri plant, they started putting build sheets on top of the gas tank as well. A lot of guys generally think that was generally more of a later in the year thing, more into the 71s. But we have a March of 70 LS6 right here, first week, that had a build sheet on top of the gas tank. So always check the top of the gas tank if you have an original gas tank. Here we are with the original Protecto plate, which I'll try to focus on, which you can see the CRR and the CRV and the 105. The stamps on this Protecto plate match the components on the car. That's the idea for warranty purposes. And I'm doing my best to focus on the RR, which is the engine stamp, which I have a photo. I will post photos of this car, of all of the stamps, later on after I publish this video. And we got the original Cal Induction air cleaner right here. You can see this rubber has never been off. This is an original GM piece. It has the slant piece right here, which generally was made for an air-conditioned car, but A lot of non-air cars got that top, that seal ring anyways, this car being one of them. And you can see the 454 and the Turbojet 450 decals, horsepower decals have been replaced, but that is a total GM unit right there. So one more time, a little quick walk around of the car. Car's been out here in the Southwest the majority of its life. The underneath of this car, all around it, is just beautiful. As far as rust is concerned, all 5 of the wheels are here. The full matching driveline and documented car. It's a rare car. Gobi beige is not something you see every day, especially an automatic on the column with gold cloth bench seat. I'm Patrick Glenn Nichols with Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds. You can reach me on Facebook at Patrick Glenn Nichols or at pnichols26 at Yahoo. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you need your 70s Chevelle authenticated, this is what I do. I will create a permanent record. I will help you figure out what it is you have and publish that. If you're a private person and you do not like your car published, then we don't go that route. I can provide consultation services or something of that nature. So again, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all the input on the car. I hope you enjoyed the video of this 1970 Chevelle LS6 factory Gobi beige with a rare color combo, numbers matching front to rear. Thank you so much. More videos on the way.